Hello everyone, this is Harinder from Endeavour Study Center once again. The motive of today's video is to demonstrate the real exam scenario for the NAATI CCL test. So in this particular video, I'll be showing you guys how the exam is carried out and how the things go on over there. Moreover, I'll also be discussing some of the key aspects of the test or that you guys need to be mindful of when you prepare for the test. So before beginning, I would like to mention some guidelines which are very important for you if you are going for the very first time for this particular exam. First thing is that there will be a testing officer over there, which I also mentioned in my previous video, that there will be someone who will be conducting the test, and he'll be responsible for playing the video, recording your responses, and also like beginning and winding up the test, right? And moreover, the next thing that is important for everyone is that there will be 2 dialogues, and each dialogue will have 6 to 7 segments, and each segment is followed with a sound, a chime sound, beep sound, you can call it anything like that. And moreover, you need to be very mindful of that, because you are supposed to speak or respond after that chime sound. You can have 2 to 3 seconds just after that, and then you'll respond, right? And moreover, you'll be provided with a piece of paper and a pen. So for taking notes, you're free to take notes as many as you can. There are some strategies which we actually speak about when we during our classes at Endeavour. So you can use those strategies to note down the key points or the sentences or vocabulary or whatever, all right, which is useful for you guys in your exam. Last but not the least, you can have only 1 repeat each dialogue. That means in 2 dialogues you can only have 2 repeats. If you ask for more repeats, your marks will be deducted, so you need to be mindful of that as well. All right, so this is what is all about that. So now I would begin the live test. So I won't be doing the complete test as whole, but like I'll be giving you an exposure so that you can have a feel of how the exam goes on over there. And so of course, before starting the test, the examiner, the test taking officer, he'll be having your permission and asking you a few starting questions, so which would be like to make you comfortable and have permission for starting the test as well. Well, in this particular sample, I'll be playing the dialogue, and I'll be responding to each segment as well. So along with that, I'll be discussing like what things you need to take care of and how the exam goes on. All right, so let's begin. Let's start. So before beginning the actual dialogue, there will be a brief introduction about the dialogue. So they will tell you what will the dialogue be about and what they will be discussing or speaking in that dialogue. So you have to be very quick catching on to that, because when you know what are they going to talk about, you should be like remembering or recalling all those vocabulary words which will be useful for you not only in English but in your chosen language as well. So in this particular demonstration, I have chosen a Punjabi dialogue along with the English. So it's basically NAATI CCL for Punjabi people. But there will be the things that I'll be discussing are useful for all of the aspirants. All right, so let's begin.
Medical, tuberculosis. A man is speaking with a GP in regards to tuberculosis.
All right, so this is the brief introduction. All right, so they'll be telling you what is it all about and who is talking to whom. All right, although it's not very important for you to know who is talking to whom, but still, like, you will have the scenario in your mind that this is what's going to happen.
Dialogue begins now.
Hello, Mr. Verma. I can see from the database that you made this appointment to talk about your coughing issues. So, how are you today?
Now, here it is. So, did you see that? Did you hear that? Sorry, that there's a beep sound after the end of the segment. So, after 2 to 3 seconds, you are supposed to respond. All right. So, for this particular segment, so I'll be responding in Punjabi. So, ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਵਰਮਾ ਜੀ, ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਆਪਣੀ ਖੰਘ ਦੀ ਸਮੱਸਿਆ ਦੇ ਬਾਬਤ ਤੈਅ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ? Before going to the next, I just want to mention that you need to be very careful of your vocabulary, your language, and the way of the style of speaking. As I mentioned in my earlier video as well, that you need to keep that formal register. So you need to keep your language, your way of speaking very formal. You can't just like use short forms, you can't use slangs and all that. Not even in Punjabi, not even in English, alright? Alright, so let's go to the next segment.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਮੈਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ 3 ਹਫ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਬੜੀ ਹੀ ਬੁਰੀ ਖੰਘ ਤੋਂ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵਿਤ ਹਾਂ। ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਹਾਲ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬੁਰਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ।
Alright, again here so you must have heard that chime sound again after the end of the segment, which was in Punjabi. Now you are supposed to translate that particular segment into English. So here I would like to mention that you are not supposed to translate each word. You are not supposed to translate it word to word. Alright, you are supposed to convey that message and without any great deviation. So you need to be mindful of that. Alright, so here is my response. Here's what you can say. Hello doctor, I have been suffering from terrible cough for the last 3 weeks. Now my condition is getting even worse. Before going further, I would like to mention that like in the beginning, many times they would ask you, they would say hi, hello, or they would even say good morning, good afternoon, and you need to take care of that, because in sometimes in your native language all those words mean same. For example, hi or hello in English means sat shri akal in Punjabi, right? So you need to be very careful about that as well. Sometimes people, what they do is, if somebody has said good morning doctor, they would say sat shri akal doctor. No, you have to say that shubh savere Dr. Saab, right? So you need to be very careful when you are translating those things. These are very necessary kind of things, right? So this is where people tend to make mistakes because they won't take care of those little bits, but these bits are very important. So be mindful of them as well, please. All right, let's move to the next one.
I see. Do you have any other symptoms as well? Like pain in chest, wheezing, or feeling short of breath at times?
All right, just before responding to this one, I would like to mention that as she started with I see. So now this is basically expression of feelings, right? When somebody is telling you that I'm terribly ill, and she is just feeling for him and saying, oh, I see. So in Punjabi sometimes or in other native languages, you might not be having those sounds, and you are not supposed to give this sound or translate that sound into English. All right, so or even Punjabi. So you can normally start that when she started, I see, oh I see, that means acha. In Punjabi we can say and you should not say okay. Okay is an English word, so sometimes because these days, like people have been using those mixed languages, that they tend to use English vocabulary in Punjabi as well. You need to avoid that. You will lose marks if you say even a single word of English for Punjabi, or the vice versa, right? So you need to be very mindful of that. So let's respond to that. ਅੱਛਾ, ਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਲੱਛਣ ਹਨ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਛਾਤੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਰਦ ਜਾਂ ਛਾਤੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਸਾਹ ਚੜਨਾ?
ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਮੇਰੀ ਛਾਤੀ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਬੜਾ ਦਰਦ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੀ ਖੰਘ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਵਿਗੜ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਕਦੀ-ਕਦੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਾਹ ਚੜਦਾ ਹੈ।
Alright, there's nothing dramatic to talk about in this particular segment. So for that you can respond like, yes, I feel chest pain or pain in my chest. You can say it either way, right? And my cough gets worse at night, right? And apart from that, sometimes I feel short of breath, right? Sometimes people tend to say shortness of breath, or they might try to say it in other words, but you should be responding very briefly and to the point. So you just say that apart from that, I sometimes feel short of breath, right?
Right. I think you're suffering from bronchitis, which is generally caused by bacteria, virus, or breathing in smoke or dust. I want to know if you smoke, or have you been exposed to any area where there will be a lot of dust or smoke?
Alright guys, this brings my today's presentation to the end. So the motive was very clear. I just wanted to expose you to the real exam scenario, so that you can have a feel of the things, how it goes, and what we should do. Well, I hope you have learned a lot from this, and if you have any other queries and if you want to know anything, feel free to contact us. So we are based on level 9, 90 King William Street, Adelaide, and you are most welcome to give us a call, or you can even comment below this video in the comment section, and we'll be happy to respond to any queries that you have. Hope to see you again. Hope you liked it. This is Harinder once again. See you then. Bye.